My name is Tiger Forrest, and I'm a medicine woman. I'm the creatrix of Forrest Yoga. I'm the author of Fierce Medicine. And I would say one of the most inherently important things about me is that I've taken a spirit pledge to do my part in mending the hoop of the people, which means healing, but it also means giving people the tools to build the life that they really deeply desire. So in Forrest Yoga, I started to bring in the elements that were helping me. So a huge element that was helping me was finding ceremony, Native American ceremony. And it took me a while to learn to bring those together because that was a birthing and a weave that took years to bring them together. But that became very important for me. Learning the things that didn't work for me that I changed, for example, active feet. And so that began to change how I walked. First it was a physiological thing, like it began to change the structure of my feet, and I built bones and muscles in my feet that I didn't have before, because my ankles used to collapse really badly, and that hurt my knees, and that hurt my back, and I was never comfortable on my feet. My feet always hurt. And so without having someone teaching me, this is just part of the discovery, is learning how to do active feet and rebuilding my feet. But then in the process, finding out active feet also meant connecting to the earth in a good medicine way, in the ceremonial way, but also as a way of walking in the world. So being brave enough to strip out the numbness, being brave enough to have the courage to listen to my heart and quest for my spirit, and then start to live my life as my spirit dictates instead of as my neurosis dictates. So these are all the things that I began to weave in and create as Forrest Yoga. And there's a lot of poses that I needed to create in order to bring healing to myself and then to the people that were coming to me. Another very big element was that I was working very intensely and studying with a psychotherapist, regression therapist named Dr. Morris Netherton. And I studied with him as well as was his client, learning how to get a handle on the internal dialogue that would drive me into stupid directions. And we all have that. You know, whether we have had big abusive things happen in our life or just, people pushing us where they think we should go, but it actually isn't really our place. Like we're being called to do something else, but we're being pushed by well-meaning parents or even stupid parents, over here. And it creates this anguish inside. And so part of what I brought into Forrest Yoga was the tools to deal with that. I teach people how to lengthen their breath and to use that breath as a focus to go inside and bring it into the areas that need healing, whether it's the back of the gut or the heart or the brain or whatever it is. And to begin to track the things that drive you. Some of them are useful and some of them are injurious. So that's partially how Forrest Yoga was born and is developed and is still growing. It's as long as I'm alive, I'm still learning and experimenting and bringing in new poses or new insights into how to work with something. A favorite asana, I love handstands, but there's many poses I love. But it's like handstands just thrill me. Elbow to knee, it's a very simple abdominal. I love that pose because no matter how tired or growly or whatever I am, or tweak, that pose is always good medicine for me. I love back bends. I love standing poses. I love my practices. Headstand. I know that we are traditionally taught it's the king of yoga poses. Well, actually in our particular level of generation, we found that kings and queens don't work that well anyways. So the royalty thing, not so good. I call it the formula for change. So recognize that you just started doing something that's in the ick department, whether it's lying or eating food compulsively or just doing something that you now recognize as hurtful. So I guess even you have to back up even there. It's like recognize the behavior that needs to change. That's really big. Because for as long as I drank, I didn't recognize it as behavior that needed to change until I finally did. So it was years of destruction. Years and years and years and years. So recognizing, here's something that needs to change. Choosing that you want to change it. Then finding out what gives you leverage on it. Now this is probably the hardest step in the formula for change. Congratulate yourself lavishly for having caught it. Do not punish yourself for having done it. If you punish, you will make yourself number and more unable to change. Do not punish. So, catch it, stop, deep breathing. Congratulate yourself for having caught it. No punishment, no self-mutilation, and then take a step in a healing way. Now part of this also has to be is stop the internal dialogue that is vicious. You know, your belief is in order to be holy, you have to be a vegetarian. But actually that's not true. I mean, just ask any medicine person. There are very few of us that are vegetarians. And I thought that same bullshit. In order to be a good person, I had to be vegetarianism and the non-violence and all that. And what I realized after years of being a fanatical vegetarian, because I'm kind of extreme, you notice that? It's true, is that it took me a long time to find this out, but all of the foods that I was eating in a vegetarian diet to get complete proteins, I was allergic to. And so, because I was so in love with this philosophy of being a vegetarian and non-violence to the animal world, because I really like animals, I was doing great violence to myself. I was poisoning myself. And I had a very funny conversation one time with Sharon Gannon, who's a fanatical vegetarian, yeah. And she started going off on it, and I just said, whoa, baby, stop. Let me tell you why I don't do what you do. And I explained it to her. It's like, this makes me sick. Eating this way makes me very ill. Now, what am I supposed to follow? This philosophy or the truth? I prefer the truth. I have a few answers to that. I don't really have the one answer thing. For a long time, my pain and suffering was my important teacher. Learning to work with the sacred ones and to listen and to be able to discern what was a message. My students, I learned so much from them. I get so much from them. And the horses were huge teachers for me. Directly to the camera, alright? Yeah. Okay. So if you start learning to put deep breathing into every aspect of your life, whether you're talking to someone, doing your yoga, having a fight, having sex, whatever it is, that's going to start changing, alchemically shifting your life. Then if you start choosing to do things in your life that build your vitality, like I hope you'll explore Forrest Yoga because I've devoted my life to it and it's fucking great. Really. But whatever it is that you do that gives you vitality, choose to do that every day. So each day, you honor your life force and build it. Asking you to go a little bit deeper, can you do something for your heart every day? Tune in there, breathe into your heart. Maybe your heart will request something, and then do that even if it's just for a few minutes. And then when you're having a more advanced day, to begin to quest for connecting to your spirit. And then when you do, I dare you to live as your spirit dictates. I hope.